Hey everybody, happy Friday. We made it through another week and I'm super excited to chat with Nick Delis, executive and sales Rockstar, the man, the myth, the legend, the Captain America of customer service. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. Awesome Friday. Seeing you here from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
As everyone just spends a Friday in Sao Paulo. My favorite hobby is tracking you around the world. It's like, where in the world is Nick today? And it's never a dull moment. For those folks watching, maybe introduce yourself. For those two people who might not know who 5'9" is, introduce 5'9" as well.
That sounds like a pretty good plan. So I'm Nick Delis, and I love the title. So I'm just going to use what you said, executive rock star premier. That sounds great to me. B2B tech influencer sounds good too. But so I've been with Five9, who is just an amazing contact center company. We're all about CX experience, and I've been with us for about 10 years. Been in the industry for blah 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 a lot of years. And the great news is that for the last 30 years, I've been enjoying technology, traveling around the world, sharing the great messaging, and here I am today with you, enjoying a great Friday.
Oh, well, it's so fun to chat with you. We last met at one of your amazing events in Porto in Portugal, where we spent some quality time together, learned so much, and just love you and the team. Uh, Really, my most memorable event of the year. And speaking of travel, you spend a significant amount of time in hotels and traveling on work. Given you're a service guru, tell us about your experiences on the road, the good, the bad, the ugly, mostly the good. We all like talking about the ugly, but what makes a lasting impression on you when it comes to customer service?
You know, it's true. Everybody talks about the bad ones. So I hate talking about the bad ones. I love talking about the great ones. And this last segment of trips, between going from Madrid to Paris, going from Madrid over to Munich, then heading Madrid, Paris, and over to Sao Paulo, I had a few really amazing experiences.
Nice.
Part of it, I think you've probably seen that I have one thing called the chocolate experiment. So the chocolate experiment is my fun thing. It's to see how people react when you catch them by surprise and just change their day, whether it's on a late flight at night or something early. And people are people. And unfortunately, after the pandemic, I think the psychological behaviors that have changed folks have really started to take an impact. And when you walk on an airplane and you see, a flight attendant who probably has one of the hardest jobs out there, just get a big, huge smile on their face, whether it's speaking German back to me or Spanish or Portuguese or whatever language, French. It just brings this great experiment and to fruition, which is bringing a smile on people's faces. And it goes to the cultural behavior of what I'm seeing out there. You see such a diverse way that customer experience is handled. I believe culture is the important thing, which is you have to adopt a great customer experience from the top down. All the organization has to really buy into what a great experience is. And from there, you can start, applying all these great tools that are out there, artificial intelligence and
Mm.
all that. But really, what you get right down to, it's about people interacting with people. It's about balancing technology with a human experience. And what I'm seeing globally is there is now this great balance with generative AI, taking on its and really just morphing in the last 9 months. You're seeing this great balance of human and digital agents working together, brick and mortar and digital, starting to combine and bring this amazing experience. So my long and the short of it is, wow, this is a lot of fun doing that. I've seen so many changes over the last year.
Yeah, changes for good. And you spend like 150 nights in hotels a year. I mean, so you must have seen a lot. Can you call out some brands, maybe in your opinion, who are nailing customer service, and why and how are they doing it?
So I just had the most incredible experience. So I was the first guest at the Rosewood in Munich. this last week. I went.
Mm.
We were hosting customers at Oktoberfest, Lederhosen, the whole 9 yards. I will be posting some of those great pictures at another date. But I'm a pretty good Lederhosen looking guy. But I walked into the Rosewood. I was the first guy to walk in the door. And the Greeks have superstition. You always walk in with the right foot, and it brings this great experience on. Here they are. They haven't opened it to the public yet. It was a free stay by the general manager, who's a friend of ours, and you could see how the culture was already taking into effect. So Rosewood, known for their great customer experience, known for 5-star elegance, and not usually a place that I stay because I travel for business, so it's usually more of a cost-effective travel experience. If you look at Marriott, I stay with Marriott's a lot. I think today would be my 101 night this year that I've stayed with Marriott. And keep in
Wow.
mind, I actually have like a little place I stay in Madrid. So so about 100 of those nights are also there. So in the 2.5, 300 nights that I stay around the world, I try to stay a lot of them with Marriott. And that experience has been incredible. As an ambassador for them, they treat you at this level that's amazing. You walk into a room, they have a little personally handed note with a little like gift with, maybe a little bottle of wine or something to help make your stay special. I just received from my ambassador representative, Lydia. So she actually sent me a nice little package for my birthday to my house. And just a little thinking. It's just the little things that really make a difference because loyalty is important. And how do you gain loyalty? With great customer experience. And I'll end it with this. They're the two airlines that I love to fly that also give you this great experience. So United Airlines, as a global services member, their instantaneous service. You get in, the SLA for getting somebody to talk to you is in, like less than 10 seconds. You do have to listen to the little message that comes up front, but they try to get you through all the crap really quick, get you to a live person. They know who you are. They know your experiences. Air France. Oh my God. There, I got upgraded the last few times, and once or twice I paid myself. And you get this amazing experience in Le Premier. It's such an amazing, that the flight attendants are like there's 2 or 3 flight attendants to 4 people, and usually it's not full anyway. They'll sit down with you. They have a great experience with you. They talk about life. They talk about travels. And my favorite thing was one of the pilots came up and grabbed me up into the cockpit and sat me in the cockpit with them during a flight. And I said, I don't know how you do this. I mean, they don't allow that in the United States. He goes, we are French. We can do anything we want. And I got to tell you, it was just such a great experience. So that to me brings me back for more and more on these long haul flights. And so that's what good experience is about. That's what great travel is all about too.
I love that. And you talk a lot about putting people first in order to grow a business. I think, my opinion, that applies to 5 9 as well. You have to have
Mm-hmm.
amazing people, a lot of high emotional IQ kind of people. You have very empathetic folks in your organization that's contributed to the amazing success as a company. But within your customers, I mean, how do you balance that role of technology and automation and AI with humanizing, business interactions?
Well, first and foremost, it's about the culture that the
Mhm.
customers are looking at. If you take a step back, you said something really important, which was 5 9 and the level of customer experience. If you look at people like, you've met a lot of them, like Chris Silver, Thomas John, Armando Trivelato, all the folks that you have within our organization that run different areas, you'll see this consistent experience, which is we bring the customer first. So I'm in Sao Paulo because we had a customer that had a little glitch, a few
Mhm.
days ago. And what is the first thing I did? I got with your executive team to let them know that, I'm here. Yeah, I might be in
Mm.
Spain or Munich or whatever, but we're here. And it's important that they know that they have the executive buy-in. Part of that is then the next level is the trust. The trust for us to take that consultative approach, understand the company's business, what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish, and really what the executives of that company are trying to deliver to their clients. And I always say one thing, which is put yourself in your customer's shoes.
Mm.
Think about that. How do you want to be treated? Because I know I don't want to sit on a line for, 4 or 5 hours waiting for somebody
Mm.
like during a travel experience, right? Have other channels to talk to them. Understand the channels that are important to the customer themselves, and then apply the right technology that goes with it. maybe AI isn't the technology that you need. Maybe it's just some automation or getting you to the right
Mm,
area, because AI is tough. Remember, you have to have a really good data lake that has a lot of good information for generative AI to learn from and be able to help deliver good information back. So it does take some time to get to there. But more importantly, it starts from that cultural level and bringing the right experience to the customer itself. Put yourself in your customer's shoes.
I love that. So in one of your talks, you talk about giving agents sort of superpowers and super intelligence to drive better customer outcomes and behavior. I mean, is that one of the key roles you think Five9 will play in this next wave of its customer experience?
I believe so. I really do. And giving the agents the superpowers that they need to bring them. And back in the day, I used to say it's from a €5 agent to maybe a €50 agent, or
Mm.
£5 to 50 quid, whatever you want to relate to, $5 to $50. But what it does, it brings that next level of intelligence. Because the last thing you want, I mean, I know I always bring the cable company example, which is the cable company I have in the US is, I'm not going to say who they are, but we definitely, when I call in, they know my system's down. They have all the intelligence behind it. They could
Mm.
probably use that and see what I'm doing. But that's all automation and messaging. It's not even artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence would be taking my conversation and then figuring out how they are able to sell better products to me or give me a better experience in the future. So taking the agent and giving them some superpowers is a combination of artificial intelligence and automation. Taking those two areas, bringing the right tools to the table, because quite honestly, we're at a day and age right now where everybody is expecting the Siri or Alexa experience, right? Think about that. They can, I'm not going to say it. Those two keywords are going to trigger so many devices around me, but
Too late. You
you
did
know
it.
no, I didn't. No. So you trigger, just you have that automatic instantaneous service. And I believe customer experience and the agents need to have that at their fingertips, because the level of experience that customers expect today are at an all-time high, and it's going to continue to go that way. And I think the pandemic drove it. They drove it because it drove it from people being isolated and then needing things so quickly, so they had to use digital experience to get there. And then when it wasn't working, you lost loyalty. So it just takes one bad experience to lose a customer. And I believe that all this and bringing that intelligence to the agent is what changes that great experience with good culture.
Oh, I love that. That's so well said. Um, you've also written about the parallels between business and marriage. And be careful now because our wives might be watching. So, yeah, how
Mm.
do you nurture long-term customer relationships? How is it similar to a healthy marriage, in your opinion?
It's actually a very funny statement, because I got thrown under the bus one time when I used this at a customer site. Obviously they didn't have a great experience, doing that. But if you look if you look at experience and it's very similar. When you first start prospecting into a customer, it's like the dating phase. You're trying to
Mm,
figure out, like, who, are you dating the right person? Is it the right thing? Do they like steak too, because I'm allergic to fish, and all that kind of stuff. And you try to figure out, your likes and your dislikes the same. Do you have the same goals? And that's the starting point. And then once you figure that out, then you go and get engaged. And you get
mm.
engaged and you really start to dig into each other's business, and you start to look at what is it that's going to drive greatness, going from good to great in a business. And once you figure that and you get married, well, that's when it all starts to really happen, which is, do I get to keep my couch and my dirty shirts, or are those torn, dirty shirts getting thrown out? And they usually get thrown out. But the good news is that experience starts to really come together. And it's a long-term experience. It's an experience where you start to see that, there's some give and take. There are going to be great times and there are going to be bad times. The Greeks call it pikris and glikis, the sour times and the sweet times that you go through as a customer experience and as a business marriage. And I believe that you have to have that give and take, and you have to have good experiences together, because you're gonna find bumps in the road. It's how you treat those bumps in the road that really makes you a great company, or just the average one that, you lose loyalty from somebody.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that analogy. Um, you're such a people person. Obviously, it comes through the video here. How do you take a people first approach when it comes to your international operations? Obviously, you've grown it from day one, from the ground up. And what does that mean when there's, distance and time separation and different cultures? It's not easy to be people first when you're not, breaking bread every day or in front of the side by side with people.
You're right. And that's part of why this journey over the last 2 years, when I fully took over international and segmented out the US piece to my counterpart, Doug. It was so important to look at international global business and strategic business very special, because
Mm,
you had to really build those relationships. So I try to be in front of as many people as possible, but you can't have everyone. The key is making that memorable experience and that memorable relationship in a short period of time, so that you can use technology to be able to communicate and get things delivered. And honestly, it's really a team effort. So it's not just me, it's being able to cookie cutter my personality, my, vibe, visions, and goals to the team that I have below me. And that's why I have one of the most incredible teams in the world, from all the VPs that I have that work together with me, whether it's in the channels organization, the professional services organization, the
mm,
direct sales organization, all of them work together in unison. And that really starts to expand the footprint. That way I know where I need to go and when I need to go. So this week I was supposed to be in Colombia, but I have such a great
mm.
team that's down there. They were able to go and run all the things they need to do. So I could come visit our partners and our customers here in Sao Paulo and really get some business done that needed to get done before we start to go to President's Club next week, which is amazing because we'll get to see all our great peers that were so successful and get to celebrate their true, their true accomplishments. And then boom, head off to the road, heading out to, Soto Grande, where we're hosting a golf tournament, so we can meet with more of our customers who are going to be part of us and start to deliver some more partner and customer messaging there. And it's just great. And so for me, it is important to break bread as much as possible. And I don't think there's a night that goes by that I don't have a dinner meeting with somebody. And right now, right after this interview, I have a lunch meeting with somebody too. So the great news is I have to balance my diet around this great experience of meetings and breaking bread. So it's very
That's
important. I
funny.
think that is
Yeah, we've chatted about your health journey and my weight loss journey, and any tips or tricks or advice on the road in particular. It's quite a challenge as you're traveling out and about.
it really is. And the Rock said it the best: no excuses. So you got to start with the no excuses, because everybody can make excuses, and it's easy to make an excuse. But
Mm,
for me, it was really important that I put my demons aside, my excuses aside,
mm.
and really took that seriously. So my health had to come first. I was almost 400 pounds. I
Wow.
mean, unreal, to my 240 that I'm at today. I put a little bit of muscle weight on, so that's really great. I feel pretty good. I'll flex later at the end of the call. So, uh, but you start to look at that and say, okay, what is it that I really wanted? And it's interesting because the tips and tricks are: focus, see what your end goal looks like. Like, I envision myself in, you're going to think that this is really silly and maybe a little self-centered, but I always loved Hugo Boss, the clothing, and
Of course.
I
Yeah,
could never fit
stylish.
it. I could never
Yeah.
fit in it because I was just too
They don't
big. And
make
yeah, they made bigger
3XLT
stuff.
in my case. No, they're not really into
They don't, and even the 2XL is more like a large. So,
that.
so when you get right down to it, I wanted to do that, and that was something that I set my mind on and wanting to do. I wanted to be in better health. I wanted to be able to walk 10 kilometers without huffing and puffing. I wanted to hike up the Sugar Loaf, with my friends, and just sprint up it and feel really good, and not, well, I got my heart rate up to about 160 when I did that, so I had to slow down at one point because it was like this. And I mean, but it really felt good. So it was that drive that really makes it. And good eating habits, so cut the fried food out, the
Mm,
breads. Like, it's okay to have a little bit. Like this morning I had a piece of toast. Okay, great. Not the end of the world. if you're going to have a dessert somewhere, but just make sure that you stay on your exercise regimen. And every morning I get up, and if I don't make it at 5 o'clock in the morning, when I'm in the US, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But when you're not, on your regimen and you change that, that makes a big difference. You're breaking a habit. It's like you've started this habit, you got to continue this habit and don't make excuses. So I believe that's another piece too.
Oh, well, great advice. Well, we could chat about that forever. But
Mm.
I am curious. You have such elite status on different airlines and different hotels. If you could sit down with the CEO of these companies, and I'm sure you do actually, what advice would you give them to enhance their customer service and improve, their customer engagement and experience in the future?
Mm. One, change your culture. Focus on
Mm,
culture. Focus on driving your message from the top down. Look at it from a personalized experience, because personalization of experience is important. It's really interesting. I do sit with a lot of executives around the world, and
mm,
it's interesting because you have those that you can see the culture has changed because of their vision, and you see the ones that are still struggling with it. And I presented, I'll give more of a bank example, but I presented to a large bank in Colombia recently, and there were about 100 people in the room. So it was 100 of their influencers, executives, and some of our champions all in the room. And as I'm going through this presentation and talking about how this culture needs to change and how you handle, and how average handle time is not important. It is important, but it's not important. It's more like, what's that experience you get during the handle time?
mm.
Then I found out that I started seeing this group talking up above, and it was like this little pocket of people that, and I'm like, wait a second. I go, this is an interactive presentation. What's going on over there? And they're like, well, we're losing a lot of calls and we're not sure how to handle that. And I go, well, how many calls are you losing? And it was like 1.5 million a month.
Wow.
And and then we put the numbers to that right there on the spot. And I said, well, have you ever thought you have their information? You can communicate back with them, whether in digital channels or
Mm,
in voice channels, to, when you have an opportunity to do that, or even at least provide an automated message. Hey, I saw that you called in. You're really important to us, you know, and so if you look at it, when I talk to the C levels, it's really about what that experience is that we're trying to accomplish as a big picture. Forget the technology. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And I hate the thing about saying, what keeps you up at night? Fine, what keeps you up at night? But more importantly, what keeps your customer up at night
mm.
if they can't get the service that they're looking for? So that is the major statement that I make, and then the technology just falls into place. Everything else just is just a technological, architecture. But the culture and delivering that to your customer, your agents, your business are the most important things I believe that the CEOs need to look at.
Wow, I love that. Well, that's a mic drop moment if there ever was one. Well, I know you have to go to lunch, but in any case, what are you looking forward to the next weeks, months? What are you most excited about for the rest of the quarter?
Well, obviously, great sales as we always do. But I am playing in my first pro am in
Mm,
Soto Grande. We're sponsoring the Stella Dam Andalusian Masters in Soto Grande. So really excited about that. It's our
wow.
second year doing that. So we made a significant investment in doing that. We have some really great customers coming there. And I will tell you, joining our President's Club and seeing all our winners and all the folks that work so
Mm,
hard for us, and their families, getting to know their families personally, and it's such an honor to do that, and really honor them. And then finally, I'm headed to one of our big customers is having their huge event in Argentina, and I am going to be there, and then and enjoying and being able to do some keynoting there. So it's really exciting. So a lot of things, and then here come the holidays, and here comes the new year right after, and it's just boom, 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 no stops.
no rest for the weary. Well, it sounds
Mm-mm.
so fun, and as always, you're so fun to chat with and tweet at. I still call it Twitter. Tweet at. You have a great presence on Twitter. We have a blast there, folks. Follow Nick. Reach out to him and his team with any questions or thoughts. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending a few minutes on the road.
Hey, Evan, always a pleasure, and I'll see you in the Twitter sphere or X sphere.
We'll see you there, everyone. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.